My name is Sarah Beth and I'm an Oklahoma 4-H STEMist. Today you're going to learn about recrystallization by making your own crystals using borax. To make your crystals, you're going to need water, string, pencils or popsicle sticks, pipe cleaners, scissors, something to stir with, jars or glass cups, a cooking pot, and of course, borax. Borax, also known as sodium borate, is a naturally occurring white mineral that is typically used as a cleaning product. Sodium borate is a chemical compound, which means it is a substance made up of atoms from 2 or more chemical elements. Borax is made up of sodium, boron, oxygen, and hydrogen. So how are we supposed to get crystals from borax? Recrystallization is different from chemical reactions like we have been talking about this week. Recrystallization happens when substances like borax are dissolved in hot water and cooled slowly. So let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to start by adding water to your pot. It's going to depend on how many crystals you want to make. I'm going to make 3, so I'm going to just fill up my jar 3 times and put it into my pot. Okay, so now you're gonna place your pot on a heat source like a stove and bring it to a boil. I'm gonna heat mine off in the kitchen off camera. While the water heats up, we're gonna go ahead and make our shapes out of our pipe cleaners. So pick out colors that you want to use because you're gonna be able to see them through the crystals. So I'm gonna use blue, pink, and green. And be as creative as you want and make whatever shape you want. Just make sure your shapes can fit in the jars without touching up against the sides or the bottom. And now that we have our shapes, we're going to use the string to tie our shapes to, you can use either a pencil or a popsicle, pen, whatever you can use. It just has to sit on the jar like this. So I'm going to go ahead and tie my shapes to it. If you need help, you can have one of your parents help you to tie the knots and get them on there. So you want to make sure that when you put it in here, it's far enough down that it's not touching any of the sides and not the bottom either. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it around my popsicle stick and just wrap it around until I get it to fit in my jar. And it should be just like that. Now that the water has reached a boil, we're going to add the borax. So as a reference, you're gonna need about 3 to 4 tablespoons of borax per cup of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this. Now mix until the borax begins to dissolve in the water. Try and mix until the water is as clear as you can make it. If the water is cloudy, it might make your crystals cloudy as well. The solubility of this mixture of water and borax will play a huge role in the formation of the crystals. Solubility is the ability of a solute to dissolve in a solvent. Solubility increases with heat. So as this water begins to cool, the borax that we added will become less and less soluble. This is when the process of crystallization begins. As the solubility decreases with the temperature, the borax will separate from the water to form into a crystal. So now we're going to put the water into our jars without burning yourself. You might have to have a parent help you. Okay, and just remember to make sure that they aren't touching the sides or the bottom, because when the crystals form, if it's touching the side, it might make your crystals stick to the glass, and we do not want that. So now we're gonna set our jars to the side and we'll check back tomorrow to see if our crystals grew. All right, so now that we've let our crystals sit overnight, I already pulled mine out of the jars, and this is how mine turned out. I think they're pretty cute. I have a little pink snowflake and some other shapes here. You can make them as a keychain, or we want to challenge you to make a Christmas ornament out of these and give it to a family member or friend. You're going to notice that some crystals probably formed at the bottom of your jars or glasses or whatever. You can either just throw your glasses out, or if you want to get them out to reuse your jar, you can pour boiling water into them and the crystals will dissolve again because the borax is still in there. If you want to learn more about recrystallization or chemistry in general, go to 4h.okstate.edu.